da HubSpot. Então, eu só vou entrar da boas-vindas para vocês. Espero que vocês gostem muito. Vão ser 45, no máximo 50 minutos de papo com ele, que ele vai contar, em parceria com a BS, um pouco sobre o programa do HubSpot para startups, mas principalmente sobre como que vai ser, como vocês vão conseguir melhorar a aquisição e retenção de clientes nesse período agora. Então, com vocês, o Rafael. De papo com ele, que ele vai contar, em parceria com a BS, um pouco sobre o programa.
Olá, gente. Como está todo mundo? Eu vou me apresentar. Eu sou o Rafael Bando e trabalho com o HubSpot e vou apresentar como escalar e reter os clientes. Eu não falo português, mas a palestra vai ser em inglês e quero contar a vocês que temos um benefício de parte de AB Startups for all the entrepreneurs that are members of this program. We can give you access to 40% off at the HubSpot platform just because you are members of AB Startups, so you're more than welcome to explore HubSpot. You can start by downloading, for example, the free CRM, and then if you need to purchase any of the hubs, you will get 40% applying to the program. All right, so a little about myself. I work with HubSpot for 1 year now, and I'm in charge of leading the HubSpot for Startups and HubSpot for Entrepreneurs program in Latin America and in Brazil. And I wanted to welcome you all. So I'm gonna share my screen with you guys, if you don't mind. Okay, is everyone seeing the screen? Okay, guys, let me know if you don't see the screen that I'm presenting right now. So I want to start by saying that starting a business has never been easier, but growing one has never been harder. And I think you all guys can relate to this, especially during these circumstances. It's become even more challenging to grow your businesses. So I want to share with you some statistics from 2006 versus 2019 on what were the costs. And this is, of course, a US study that we did, but my guess is that Brazil will have the same circumstances, which is that in 2006, if you had an idea and you wanted to found a business, you would have to go out and get $200,000, right? Why? Because, I mean, you would have to pay for an office, you'd have to pay for maybe a website. The CRM was super expensive. You would have to purchase the physical servers in which you would be hosting every single part of your digital services, and then you would have to pay almost $50,000 for developer tools. Most of these items in 2019, and of course, even more in 2020, are available for free. So it's very easy to know, to go out ahead and put one of your products, one of your services, get them out there and start selling. But what happens then? All you need is to get customers, right? So where do you even begin to get those customers? And many of you have probably seen this, which is called the funnel, right? This is what they tell us in many universities on how to do sales, how to do a customer acquisition strategy. You have to do some marketing strategies to bring a big mass of people into the funnel. Then a percentage of that people will go into the sales process that will make them customers, right? So this is the sales funnel. Well, it turns out that at HubSpot, we knew that this was broken. Why? Because when you use the sales funnel, you're putting your customers at the end of a process. It's like a manufacturing company that does, I don't know, you do beer, for example. You produce beer. You produce a bottle and then you send it away. That's it. You forget about the bottle. And the funnel is the same with customers. They treat customers as an afterthought. So funnels produce customers but don't consider how those customers can help you grow. And how many people here have done sales, for example? How many people have tried to get a customer for their startup or for their
So
entrepreneurial
funnels,
venture? Many of you, I guess. That process of getting a customer is a process that requires a lot of energy, and you build a lot of momentum, right? Getting those customers, it's really hard, and you do a lot of efforts, and you build a lot of momentum. Then you produce the customer, and you forget about it. So that's it. All that momentum that you had, all that inertia is gone, and you have to start every single day from scratch, from zero, right? Every day, every month, every quarter, you have to start new. Additional to this, we did a survey to understand how people trusted in the different jobs, the different professions, right? And we realized that on top of the trust index, we had firefighters. Everybody trusts a firefighter, thank God, right?
yeah,
Teachers, dentists, and let me know, people with those instruments, I really like to trust them. Accountants, baristas, who are the people who give us coffee, we trust them a lot less. And then on the bottom, we trusted marketers and salespeople the least. Well, maybe politicians were below that, but that's no surprise. But if you look at this, the people that you are sending with the message that your product is fantastic and that you are trusting to build your brand and go out there and show people, convey the message that you can help them, are not being trusted. Only 5%, right? And the second part of this is that we ask our customers how they have heard about us. And we realized that 1/3 of our customers heard about us because of word of mouth. It was a referral from somebody else, much more than a Google search, much more than the blog. And at HubSpot we have 2 million subscribers for the blog. Review sites, industry publications, and social media only brought 3% of our customers, each of those, right? So if prospects are trusting your customers more than ever, and they are the ones who are bringing your message to the world, you must ask yourself, are they part of your go-to-market strategy? So that's when at HubSpot we like to talk about the flywheel, in which we are going to have our customers at the center. And around them, we are going to attract them to this flywheel by doing marketing strategies, inbound marketing specifically. We're going to engage with these customers by doing sales processes. And then, remember, we have to delight those customers so they help bring more customers. We use that by doing excellent service and providing an amazing experience. And this is more and more relevant, especially today. And as you see, funnels lose completely their momentum at the bottom, but flywheels will leverage that momentum to keep spinning. Your customers will help spin this flywheel that we'll have, and you will build a scalable process out of it, right? And of course, any additional energy, remember how hard it is to create a sale? You add to it is going to spin faster. It's going to bring more customers. It's going to bring and attract more people to your website, and those customers will, with more strength, help you attract more and more, right? As a reminder, we are very open for questions, for interruption, anything that you want to ask. If you have a comment, if you want to tell us how you're doing this, go ahead. I'll be reading any questions that come up. So here is the comparison, right? We want to go from having customers as an afterthought. You produce a customer, you forget about him, to putting customers at the center. So we have three key elements of the flywheel. The first one is that growth, if you want to grow your customer base, you need to bring some force, right? And bringing force is attracting those customers right here with marketing strategy. But also, once you have a big enough customer base, you want to see if you want to reinvest or maybe redefine the strategy that you're using to attract customers and invest more in the delight stage. So they will be the ones who will be attracting more customers. Principle number 2, growth is an inverse function of friction. Friction, think of friction as those points of contact that your customers have with your company that make it difficult for them to interact with you. My favorite example is when you call a bank, for example, or if you want to talk to your cell phone company and you go through that robot that makes you press a ton of buttons and it's almost unbearable and it's impossible to talk to a human. That is friction. That is an example of having friction in your interaction and attraction with your customers. Friction can also be an advertisement, right? You're invading people's homes. That's creating friction in your marketing process. Friction is not providing the channels in which your customers like to be serviced better, right? We have, for example, implemented chat, email, phone calls, everything to interact with our customers. So we can remove friction because we interact with them the way they want to, right? And we are constantly reviewing what causes friction, what are sources of friction with our customers, and we make a lot of efforts to reduce it. Also, think of friction, think of the flywheel like a bicycle, right? How many people here pedals, right? Rides the bicycle. You can do a lot of strength to push that bicycle forward, but what if this bicycle, the brakes are on, right? Or the wheels are really rusty and really hard to push forward? You will have to bring a lot more strength to the equation to make it turn. So look at this. Friction will kind of sabotage any efforts that you have to delight and attract your customers. So be very aware of where this friction is. And the current situation might be an opportunity for companies to identify a lot of points of friction because maybe they were comfortable with different channels and those channels disappear, right? Now we almost have digital channels and we are making a lot of efforts to reach out these customers, which means that we are increasingly removing friction from our sales processes. Growth is also, this is the third principle, a function of how scalable your company is, right? Which means, startups and entrepreneurs, they do a lot of efforts about attracting customers to the pipeline, but it's very easy when you're at the very early stage and maybe you're the CEO and you're the one doing all the efforts. Well, you can handle 100 customers, right? And you can attract easily 500 people to your pipeline. But what happens when this becomes 5,000 people? How do you manage those processes? You may have hired a couple of salespeople, but you also have to realize that you cannot keep hiring salespeople. You have to put them on a scalable process. Also think on how scalable is your business model. And I bet that many people recognize Jeff Bezos. He's a founder. I think he has a unicorn or something like that. And he founded Amazon. And if you have seen the pictures of Jeff Bezos at the beginning, it's incredible. Like he had like a very raggy clothing. He was sitting on a very ugly office, and he I think he had like a piece of cardboard with the Amazon logo painted there, and he had all he had was a selection of books, but this selection was enough to provide a good enough customer experience, and he started getting some traffic, right? Because some people were going to purchase whatever books he had in the inventory, so that's traffic. But then when he started getting more traffic, more sellers started to be interested in this traffic. So they came to the platform, and then this allowed Amazon to have a better selection. This selection improved the customer experience, bringing more traffic that brought more sellers, more selection. And as you see this is Amazon flywheel. It's an exponential model. Their growth is bringing more growth, and that growth feeds itself, right? It's very important to also know that Amazon, one of the key principles, maybe the number one, is that they put the customers in the center of everything. And if you have purchased anything from Amazon, you will know that if you try to do a return, they won't put any friction to you. I remember I purchased a very expensive textbook from them and never arrived, right? And it said it had been delivered. So I had to, I was accustomed to other companies, and I started collecting like evidence that I didn't get the book, and I had a super well structured case, to present to their service team and convince them that I didn't receive the book. And guess what? When I talked to their service team, they only said, "Okay, we're gonna send you another copy." They didn't ask me anything. And I cannot think of a better example of not having friction with customers. You know, don't ask him any questions. We want to delight him. Remove friction from our processes so this keeps spinning and spins faster, right? So I want to play a game with you guys, and I really want to encourage participation in this one. Um, and this is very simple. This is a game that I call the Founder's Time Machine. And I'm going to give you a technology, and you will have to choose which year you're going to start a company with this technology to become a unicorn, to be a massive organization. And, you know, I, I do want to see your replies. So, okay, let's play. Mattresses. I tell you guys, as founders, you have to sell and produce mattresses. To which year do you travel to found a company and become a billionaire? Are we getting answers? And I'll give you a hint. Mattresses were invented in 3000 before Christ. Okay, so while we get some answers, I want to also ask you, I give you glasses. This is the technology that you're going to sell. To which year you travel to sell glasses and become a billionaire. Here's another one for you. MP3 was founded in 1980. When are you going to sell? To which year will you found an MP3 company to become a billionaire? So I don't know if you're replying, but my guess is that, you know, I, for myself, I would travel maybe to the 1500s, 1600s. For the glasses, the 1800s. And MP3, I think I would be very successful and become a billionaire if I started selling them in 1990. But then I realized that unicorns on these technologies were founded for the mattresses in 2014. A unicorn that sold glasses was founded in 2010, only 10 years ago. MP3, curiously, is the oldest one, 2006. This is shaving, the shaving machines there, like Gillette. 2011, a fashion unicorn was founded in 2009, and a public transportation unicorn was founded in 2012. And I'm going to show you and tell you a little about these unicorns. The first one is Casper. And I really like this example because I imagine these guys like presenting to a venture capital fund that had heard all the morning like in intelligence, artificial intelligence, IoT, data science, etc., etc. And these guys came in to present that they had a mattress company. Warby Parker, glasses. Luxottica has, I think, more than 90% of the market of glasses, and these guys found an opportunity and they became a unicorn very quickly. Spotify, I kind of like and dislike this example because I bet that more than one who is watching us today remembers that music was free. We use Napster, LimeWire, and these guys figured a way to make us pay for music.
Oh my god.
Dollar Shave Club, they send you the razor blades to your house every time. The Trunk Club, I mean, if you want to be a hipster, right? You can put that on their website and they will be sending you trunks, like boxes, with clothes to make you look like a hipster. You can do it for, you know, casual Fridays. You can do it for corporate clothing, everything. And Lyft, which is Uber, or you guys have a unicorn called 99, it's the same. So this is, you know, the process of these customers when you reduce all the friction in each of these processes and you attract them through frictionless marketing, you engage with them with the less friction possible um, through sales, and then you delight them by providing exceptional services, right? So let's look deeper at Casper, the mattress guys. If you look at these Google reviews, you can see that they have almost 5 stars. This is an amazing score to have. It's really, really hard to reach this 5th star right here. And the experience of buying a mattress, if some of you have here bought a mattress in the past 5 years, it's a very uncomfortable, full of friction experience. You go to an ugly store, you beg for somebody to talk to you, for a salesman. You're gonna sit, on the mattress, and you sit on it, and you bounce a little bit, and that bouncing will define something that will be with you for the next 10 years, right? That's a lot of friction in a process. When you think about Casper, they send you a mattress at your home, if you see in this box, and they will let you have a 100-night trial. for the mattress. So you're going to be sleeping on this mattress for 3 months before you have to make a purchasing decision. I mean, I would bet that if you're going to buy a mattress, you would go first to Casper, try it for 3 months. If you don't like it, maybe you go to one of the good old-fashioned ugly stores. But this is definitely a very frictionless way to sell. They also understood that they needed to put a customer service person available all the time. So for what? To remove friction. And the effect that this will have in your customers is that, you know, look at this tweet. Nobody paid this person to post this. And he's talking amazingly about your brand. Hey, Casper, I want to be the best friends with your customer support person. Best customer support ever, Casper Mattress. This is free advertisement. This is your customers paying you to do marketing for you. So this is definitely a scalable growth model for your customers. What happened with Casper? In 5 years, they had 1 million customers. Multiply that by the price of a mattress, and they became a 5x unicorn. So the question for you is how you're putting your customer first. And I want to give you very quickly some examples on how different is high friction process versus low friction process, right? Before, we had full service. Now we have a lot of tools to self-serve, knowledge-based bots, etc., etc. We are available all the time, 24/7, 24 hours, 7 days a week. We have try first models so people can choose if they like our product or not before paying to us, right? Before, our product had to be 10 times better than the competition. I'm not sure if Casper mattresses are better, but what I know is that their customer experience is 10 times lighter than the competition. Before we had the better product era, um, a lot was talking to a seller. Now, a lot of it is self-service, right? Before, we use IT and technology to increase employee efficiency. Now, we use it to empower the customer and increase his efficiency in interacting with us and purchasing from us. Before, the buyer had to interact with a lot of specialists for any different need that he had. Nowadays, we use a lot of automation, so we decrease handoffs, and we will be able to better serve the customer with a single point of contact, right? And to create this amazing experience and to retain those customers beyond the amazing customer experience, you also must look at this customer journey in your company, right? And you need to understand and measure and drive recurring value, especially companies that use, recurring revenue, such as us, software as a service, right? And when you start with your customer, to not have them churn, which means leaving the company, you have to do an amazing onboarding experience so they can get a first value really quick from your company. They receive value in the first week, right? When they receive this value and they didn't churn, you need to provide them with grow value, right? Which means adoption. This person is becoming more and more familiarized with your products or services, right? Of course, once they've been with you for maybe a year, for example, that's how long our contracts last, you need to make them renew and upsell. So you have to keep producing ongoing value. They adopt it very well, so they have this kind of value. They have to be bringing more uses to this platform or to your service or to your product. And finally, you want to expand the functionality of your services and products, always be improving so they renew with you and you retain them as customers. And the point of this is to also increase usage. You need to empower people through your products and services so they will use them more to reach their goals, right? So remember, get the first value as soon as possible. Do an onboarding. Have a very good onboarding process, or they will churn. Focus on customer success. Make them reach their goals through your products and services, and keep ongoing value to contain churn so they don't leave. And finally, keep delivering new value to increase upsell and add-on sales. And the video conferencing companies are an example of this. They are all the time innovating and seeing how they can serve their customers better, give them more tools that they will find useful, and that will increase upsell and add-on sales. Finally, measure how satisfied they're with their brand. This is a very important KPI that is correlated with how many customers you retain, and it's called Net Promoter Score, or NPS. And it's very simple. You ask them, how likely are you to recommend our brand to a friend from 1 to 10, right? And the ones who reply 9 or 10 are going to be promoters there with their brand. The ones who reply 6 or less are going to be detractors. These are people that will be not recommending your product, but recommending not to buy it. And passive are in between 7 and 8. And the NPS is going to be how many promoters you have as a percentage minus how many detractors you have. And by looking at several companies, Apple is at 72, Aeroflot is at 67, and Panasonic is at 43. If you are above 30, there's nothing higher 100. That's a high NPS. Medium is between 0 and 30. And of course, you never want to be in a low NPS, because this means that your customers are not helping you bring any more customers. And right now, it's very important because many companies are adjusting their promotions and customer acquisition channels, and they are experiencing a transition, right? If I was a retailer that had a physical store, now I'm starting to explore new channels. And while I adapt to these channels and start being as efficient as I was before, it is very important to delight your customers, to provide them an amazing experience so they will also be, using their channels to bring you more customers, right? And it's a time where people are selecting and are really being austere about what they purchase. And there's a lot of churn happening right now. So you have to be very mindful and start measuring the NPS, because this predicts how much people are going to leave your company. We also like to look at the usage, right? If you see this, what is usage? Are people using our platform? Are they not using this? And we have a live feedback on that, so we know when people stop using the platform and they may be at risk on churning, right? And well, that's pretty much it. I wanted to leave time for questions, for discussion. If you want to tell us right now how you are attracting your customers, how you are delivering an exceptional experience, feel free to ask any questions through the different channels that we have. And also, I don't speak Portuguese, but I understand it. So feel free to talk in your language. I have no problems there.
Hi, Rafael.
Olá, Maria.
Olá, vou falar em português, porque você sabe português um pouco, né?
Sim, sim, pouquinho.
Pessoal, tem alguma dúvida aí, alguma pergunta que vocês gostariam que eu passe aqui para o Rafael, que aí ele pode responder? Me diga aí o que vocês estão achando. Você conseguiu ver, Rafa, as respostas que eles mandaram? Eu te mandei no WhatsApp, naquele questionamento.
No WhatsApp. Aqui estou. Sim, sim. Sim. I'm seeing the answers here. Thank you.
Enquanto isso, vocês vão mandando as mensagens, as perguntas, pessoal, eu vou falar que a gente tem parceria com a HubSpot, um benefício exclusivo. No Brasil, nós somos os únicos parceiros deles que oferecem 40% off para novas contas para obter as principais ferramentas da HubSpot. Então, se você é um associado, quer se tornar um associado da Associação Brasileira de Startups, a gente vai mandar aqui os links no chat para vocês fazerem o cadastro e conseguirem ter acesso. O Rafa também pode explicar um pouco sobre o que a HubSpot faz para as startups do Brasil. Conta um pouquinho aí também. Enquanto isso, mandem as perguntas.
Sim. So I'll tell you in the meantime about the program, HubSpot for Startups and HubSpot for Entrepreneurs. Our purpose is to help startups grow better and help them implement inbound marketing strategies through education. We have the HubSpot Academy. We have a lot of resources that we provide our partners so they can share with the startups. And, this is an amazing tool for startups and entrepreneurs because it doesn't require you to compete with big budget, but it does require you to compete with your brains. So when you're competing against big corporations, you have an opportunity, right? It's very different if you look at advertisement budgets, how much they spend, right? Coca-Cola just donated $100 million from their advertisement budget. So are you going to advertise? Is this a battle that you're going to win? So that's why I think that inbound marketing strategies are very, very useful for the startups and entrepreneurs. And that's the whole purpose of our program, to promote this methodology. So you can, have it in your ammunition to grow.
Vê se tem alguma pergunta aqui para você que chegou. As pessoas estão querendo saber um pouco como as startups podem começar a utilizar a HubSpot, mas eu acho também que até conversar com você depois, Rafa, te adicionar no LinkedIn, dele contato seu e-mail, acho que você pode mostrar um pouco sobre, ou direcionar para alguém do seu time também, porque a HubSpot tem muitas opções de ferramentas, features, que pode ajudar as startups. Vamos ver se chegou mais perguntas aqui. Bom, eu acho que é isso. Alguém tem mais alguma pergunta? Alguém gostaria de mandar? Sim, chegou uma pergunta aqui. Quais as principais dicas que você daria para kick-off direction, né? Para as startups começarem a implementar a HubSpot na empresa deles, né? Quais são as principais dicas de kick-off?
See, you can start. We have the CRM is free, so you can see what the tool looks like without any money compromise, right? So I would say, start with the CRM. It's a very powerful tool, and it will help you a lot. And you can see it's like the mattress, right? You can use it forever. See if you like it. If you don't like it, then don't use it. But that will give you an idea of what HubSpot looks like, and you'll be familiarized with HubSpot, and you'll see if you want to do it or not. Very simple, and it's free. It's completely free. And I would say one of the most successful customers that implement HubSpot, they select one person to be the HubSpot champion inside the company, and this person is in charge of that project, and she will lead the company in implementing the CRM, for example. As always, you can start by using the CRM.
Ok. Mais uma pergunta aqui. Como utilizar as tecnologias atuais de automação de atendimento ao cliente sem causar tanta fricção?
The automation the automation tools for people who don't know will allow you, for example, to enroll any contacts that you have in a series of emails, or maybe notify a salesperson if somebody clicks on the pricing page. For example, we have that. If somebody clicks on the HubSpot pricing page, a sales rep will get an email saying, "Hey, this person clicked there. Please call him." Right? But it's very important to first not be promotional, right? You don't want to be convincing them that your brand is fantastic, that you have an amazing product, because that's friction. People don't like that. And I mean, if you have received advertisement, you don't like advertisement, right? It's uncomfortable. That's friction. So be very careful that when you use automation for emails, for example, for sales, don't be pushy. Use it to share content that will help this person, not promote your brand. That is very important. Your content must have the customer in mind, not you. You're not promoting yourself. You're helping your customer with their problems, and you're helping them reach their goals. That's what the inbound methodology is all about. And I would say that's the main thing that you don't want to do with automation. Spam people. You don't want to spam them. I mean, it's very easy for a robot to be sending emails. Don't do that. Be very sensitive and respectful of your buyer persona, we call them, so you don't have any friction. You're on mute, but I'm gonna say always have an unsubscribe button everywhere, because you also want to make it easy for them to stop receiving communications. Maria, you are on mute.
Sorry. A última questão, a última dúvida, então, do pessoal mandou aqui, eu acho que de você, Rafa, e também da HubSpot, um pouco de uma dica de como que a HubSpot está enxergando esse momento da Covid-19, desse momento de isolamento social, como que vocês indicam para as startups brasileiras uma dica, um conselho neste momento agora?
We have done. I mean, I can tell you how HubSpot has helped their customers during this season, to say so. I mean, we are doing it. The CEO instructed everybody, and especially the sales team, to be very sensitive and have a lot of empathy. So we are listening to our customers very carefully, and selling the software became the least priority right now. We are focused on helping our customers and help them succeed. Why? Because if we help them succeed, they will prevail during these difficult times, and they will remain with us, right? So that's a way that our customer success is our success. I would say, I mean, there are many ways to survive. It's really difficult. Like, explore different channels, go digital, double down digital efforts, because that's the only channel available right now. And another thing that I've seen that has made some startups succeed is that they zoom out from my business, and they see the whole value chain with the stakeholders, right? The suppliers, myself, my customers, a value chain, right? They get the perspective of the whole value chain and see where they can create value as a value chain, not only as a business, right? And that has made them be successful. One example of this is restaurants who have pivoted to becoming kind of supermarkets, fancy supermarkets, in which they sell their suppliers' products, right? So they gain value from this because they're making business, and their suppliers who depend on them also are breeding because they are selling through them, right? So, I mean, they're finding very creative ways of supporting their, their stakeholders.
Rafa, eu gostaria muito de te agradecer por todas as dicas, foram muito valiosas. Em nome de toda a Associação Brasileira de Startups e de todas as startups que estavam aqui hoje acompanhando o papo, foi muito enriquecedor. E vamos seguir com essa parceria aí firme e forte, e em próximos webinars também, com novos conteúdos, durante essa quarentena, então quando tudo passar. Muito obrigada, e você gostaria de deixar sua última palavra, passar algum recado? Fica à vontade.
Sí, sí. Muito obrigado com Abstartups, Maria Clara, Otávio. You have been great guys, and I'm very, very happy to collaborate with Abstartups. I really admire the organization. I think what you guys do is fantastic. And remember, you can reach out to me through LinkedIn. I always like to think of these webinars as the start of the conversation. And I always really like to hear from startups, from what you're doing. If you have any questions, reach out to me through LinkedIn. It's Obando Rafael. And okay, thank you so much again, Maria Clara, Otávio. I really enjoyed the time with you guys.
Thank you. Obrigada, então, gente. Tenha um ótimo fim do dia aí e aguarde as próximas lives e webinars da ABS. Tchauzinho.